Okay, today's video, we're going to talk about Wayfair ads, whether or not they work or not, which the short of that is they absolutely do work, and they work damn well. And I'm going to explain why they work damn well on this video. I'm also going to tell you how you get them to work damn well and give you the actual basic tips you need to make sure that they do work for your company. In short, if you're questioning right now whether or not Wayfair will work for your business, and specifically Wayfair ads and sponsored product slash keyword ads, really just called sponsored product ads, the answer is 99% of the time, yes. So if you're considering it because you think in your gut it seems like it should work, it'll work. You need to get off your butt and actually go ahead and try it, because for sure it's probably going to work. In rare situations it might not. To tell you, in terms of the amount of work that we're doing, I haven't had a time where Wayfair ads is not profitable. And we're getting over 1,000% ROI, or ROAS if you want to call it that, return on account spend, advertising on sponsored product ads via and on Wayfair ads. That's how profitable this is, and that's why it's going to basically work every time. We're in the early stages of it still. Not a lot of people know about it, which is why it works so well. Wayfair works pretty well for now, for the most part, because it's not competitive and nobody's really knowing about it or doing it yet. And it's similar to like Bing ads and a few other fringe places to advertise, like Reddit. If it fits your business, which I like the Bing example the most. Most people know Google ads works. But what they don't know is Bing ads generally work better than Google ads, even though there's not as much volume there, because people say, who the hell uses Bing? And the reality is about 15% of the market uses Bing versus Google. Mainly older individuals who think Internet Explorer is the internet, which is default set up to go to use Bing as the search engine right away. And so if you're the one smart enough, brave enough to go ahead and use Bing, in a lot of markets, if you didn't have a lot of money, you started out on Bing, you can actually build a business much faster, because the return is twice as good on Bing in most markets than it is on Google. Well, as it pertains to Wayfair, the return is actually better on Wayfair than it is on Amazon nowadays, because everybody knows about Amazon now, and they don't know about Wayfair yet. And the main reason for that is Wayfair obviously can only sell so many types of items on there. It's not like Amazon where everybody knows about that. You could sell anything on there. You could sell a piece of fake dog shit on there nowadays. It's gotten way past selling books. So if you sell any kind of house goods that are sold on Wayfair, that you see selling on Wayfair, then you need to do it. And set up specifically a sponsored product ad is what it's called there. Sponsored product ads work like keyword or search campaigns do on Google/Bing, like we were talking about before, where you give them the keyword, and when somebody goes searches on Wayfair, because they use it like a search engine there, your product comes up in the products that they see ultimately in the search results. That's where you want to be. And so it works like a search engine. You should treat it like a search engine. And with that, if the 1,000+% ROI in and itself from the people clicking on your ads, that see your ads and then buying, ultimately isn't good enough for you, you'll also get more organic rankings having the advertising going on Wayfair. So you can get some good organic traffic going from Wayfair too when you run the ads. Whereas where you don't run the ads, it's hard to get good organic traffic. Just like that in and itself very much is like Amazon. So the ads, even if they were to break even, would be amazing still, because you're going to get more organic traffic from that, and you're going to capitalize on that, which is obviously very high returns because there's no marketing cost there other than the Wayfair fees. So, and obviously with the 1,000% ROAS on the ads, that's going to cover the fees, no problem. That's not an issue. The Wayfair fees aren't actually that bad. They're not great, but they're also not that bad. They can't get away with charging as much as Amazon because everybody there's high demand for Amazon stuff, and Wayfair knows that. So anyway, you should run them to get some organic traffic. And maybe at some point you could turn off the ads and live off the organic. You could do that, but for the most part, it'll just work well enough that you could run both. You run the ads, they get a return. Then you get the organic return in addition to the paid ad return. Then you get an even greater return. That's what you typically should do. Now, the best advice I could give you to do these ads, since the action on Wayfair is so small, the return's good, but the downside is, like the Bing analogy I gave you before, you're only going to get a little bit of sales from it coming in. You're going to get a small trickle, but that trickle is going to have a great return. So, but why leave it on the table? But because the return is not, good, but it's not going to make up a large percentage of your sales, you should just go run ads on Google if you're not running ads on them now, or if you are running ads on Google. If you have taken my advice and run your ads on Google with your conversion tracking, you can go into your search terms report through your Google Ads account and find the actual search phrases that have converted into a sale or at least a lead in the last at least a year. Download all those terms that turn into a sale or a lead. And those are the actual terms that you're going to use as keywords in your new Wayfair sponsored product ad on Wayfair. And the reason why you want to take it from Google is because the action, like going back to what I was saying before, the action's so small on Wayfair that it's going to take you years to figure out what keywords to use. Well, you don't have all that time. You want to be able to get the return you can get out of Wayfair. You want to get it quickly. So the way you do that is you go run a small campaign on Google, if you haven't done that already. And then once you got that going, of course, like I said before, you should do Bing, but then also if it applies in your market, i.e. you sell products that you see on Wayfair already, then you're going to, even if it's not your exact products, it's just products in that general category that you're in. If you sell mailboxes, as long as you see mailboxes on Wayfair, you should be getting your product on there. But anyway, because people are going to be making a lot of different searches on Wayfair. But anyway, you take your keywords that converted on Google, use them on Wayfair, that if people make those specific searches that do apply exactly to your product itself, you'll make some money. And then you'll extract all that value from Wayfair that you possibly can out of it there. And that's the really simple way to do all this. Google gives you the data, you put it on Wayfair, it always will work. Respectively, if you're wondering about the size of the return you're going to get, I mentioned 1,000+% ROI is normal right now in 2023 at least. Maybe this changes a few years from now, but right now it's still over 1,000% average ROI that we're going to get, or ROAS, where we're going to get for those campaigns. So on average. Now, but volumetrically wise, the ad spend that you're going to spend on Wayfair is going to be about 1% that you would of the budget that you're going to spend on Google, assuming you totally maxed out your Google ad search campaigns. Okay? Well, we'll say I do want to update this because some markets is a little bit different. 1 to 5% of what you would spend on search campaigns on Google for those same items that you're going to market on Wayfair is ultimately what your budget totally maxed out on Wayfair is going to be. So if you're spending, in other words, $1,000 a day to get every last click and profitable sale you can out of Google search ads, then you're probably going to spend, around 10 to $50 a day on the ad spend via Wayfair. That's about what you can expect. Of course, the return is going to be better on Wayfair than it is on Google, which makes up for that. So even though you're only going to get 2% of the clicks that Google brings in, hypothetically here, it can actually provide 4 to 5% of your total sales because the return is actually higher on the ad spend you're spending through Wayfair, as I mentioned earlier. So it's definitely worth it to do because it could end up being 3, 4, 5% of your total sales once you've got this implemented. assuming you had the right keywords to get uploaded and you're not guessing and you spent the money on Google to find out what those keywords are that you need to use, if that makes sense. So anyway, for the most part, you'll at least get 1% of your sales coming in through Wayfair if you see the items that you sell already on Wayfair, and upwards of 5%. And it'll generally be closer to 5% of your total sales coming in than 1%. And of the sales that come in, you'll probably have 2 to 3 times the return that the Google Ads sales and the Google Ads is bringing for you in terms of the size of the ROAS return or ROI return itself that it brings in. So in other words, if you're, typically if you're averaging a 5 ROAS on Google or 5 ROI on Google, you could expect 10 to 15 ROAS or ROI as tracked through Wayfair on Wayfair Ads, because it's normally 2 to 3 times the efficiency that a Google click is, because the clicks are cheaper, it converts at a higher rate, and it's not competitive yet. So 1,000+ % ROI from the clicks you get. It might only spend between 1 to 5% what you spend on Google via the search campaigns targeting the same exact keywords, but because the return is higher, you'll end up with upwards of closer to 5% of your total sales coming into your company coming from Wayfair, as it, if you're pulling most of your sales from like Google right now. And so why the hell not do it? So basically that's what you need to do. Just target the keywords from Google. You get 2 to 3 times higher return on the clicks you do get from Wayfair, even though the amount of clicks you get will be 2, 3, 4% of what you get through Google anyway, because there's just not as many people obviously searching on Wayfair than there is on Google in the first place. I'll wrap it up with that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you liked this video, I'd appreciate it if you would give it a like and consider subscribing, as I have a ton of other content on this channel about running paid ads. It's very practical, like this information I just shared with you is. I manage about 50 different PPC campaigns at any given time for clients in a wide variety of different markets. So, and the stuff that I'm giving you here is all the stuff that works, as well as the stuff that doesn't work that I tell you to stay away from. So you can't get better information than what I'm providing you here on YouTube, because I'm in the trenches actually doing it. I don't just educate, I'm doing it, and I spend a small amount of time educating, and what you get is the real shit that's going on. So, and if you like, by the way, the channel, I have a blog at guaranteeppc.com/blog, where you could find advice similar to what I have on the channel, but more in detail on the strategies, like the money-making strategies we're using to get clients results on a guaranteed basis. You could find those there as well from myself. That said, if you have any questions about anything I shared, or Wayfair, or even just running online ads in general, leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a comment on this channel, usually within a couple days' time. So I don't bite. Go ahead and ask me any questions you like. I try to help you out if I can. As a final note, if you're looking for the absolute best person that you could find to help manage your ads, contact my firm. We provide guaranteed results on all the work we do. Nobody else is doing this, which speaks of what our service is like versus what everybody else's is like in comparison. In that, we can guarantee you more sales than you have now on the same ad spend, or a equivalent of that. So we don't work with everybody, but if you do want to see if I can work with you, reach out to me at guaranteedppc.com. I'll look at your stuff, see if we can work together, try to get you an estimate on the sales results so we can get you on your current campaigns you're running or a campaign you're about to run. But with that said, I'll wrap it up with that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you on my next video where we have another great strategy for you there. See you later.